Brilliant. Thank you very much. And lovely to see you, everyone. How's it going? You right, Hens? Lovely to see you, my man. My name's Ash. I'm Chief Technologist at Lenovo. And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit, just take 15, 20 minutes of your time to talk a little bit about Lenovo hardware, obviously. And some of our views, I say our views, my views on AI. The first thing that comes to mind on my first slide is that Joe's slides are a little bit more professional than mine. I think he's put a bit more effort into making this business friendly. But I was just wondering, I mean, you're all too young for this, but I was wondering if anyone in the room can tell me what these probably are, what this is. Any idea? Obviously, computer game? No? Oh my good Lord. Oh, I'm so old. These are games from the ZX Spectrum. Okay, so pioneering very, very old school computer that my dad bought me when I was a kid, and I spent my days programming that ZX Spectrum to within an inch of its life. That ZX Spectrum was the reason why I'm in the job I am today. It's also the reason why I couldn't get a girlfriend. Possibly amongst other reasons, but mostly this, I'm sure. Now, my point is, it was interesting days because hardware would always come first. You'd have hardware and you'd set the boundaries. Here's our new hardware, that's going to be with you for a couple of years. And then the coders will catch up. And I'm not saying anything bad about coders. I cut my teeth doing code, but there's a lot of lazy coders out there. And it takes them a while to catch up. And this one on the left here, this is one of the games that came out, Jumping Jack, I think, when the ZX Spectrum was first out. And everyone said, it's not going to get better than this. This is all you could do with the Spectrum. Look at it, it's amazing. And then, a few years later, games like this were coming out because the coders were squeezing every drop of performance they possibly could. They were getting cleverer and cleverer on how to make their code more efficient. And that's the way it's been for ages. And that's what we're seeing with AI. But actually, it's not just that, it's also the hardware. The hardware, we now see architecture that was designed from the ground up specifically for AI. Okay, so Mustafa Suleyman, who's the really, really depressingly young and successful CEO of Microsoft AI, did a white paper, pretty much a white paper recently, on the performance of AI. And he was basically saying, you get these naysayers saying AI, it's going to hit a brick wall, there's not enough power, we can't, it's already got all the knowledge in the world, it's not going to do anything else, not going to go anywhere, there's going to be a bubble and everything. But this is completely untrue. And he basically picks the whole argument apart. And he he co-founded DeepMind in 2010, which then became what is Google AI today. And he looked at it from 2010 to 2026, and actually the performance in training models has increased. And this sounds ridiculous, please look it up, I swear I'm not lying, a trillionfold in that time. So Moore's law, forget about it, this clonking, it gets better and better and better. AI is just going on a logarithmic scale, it's just going vertical basically. And that's due to not just hardware increases, but also software increases in performance. So it's really, really important to understand that both the hardware and software work together, and they're both really important. So at Lenovo, we're pouring money into R&D, into not just hardware, as we've always done, but the software as well. 25%, 1 in 4 of all Lenovo employees globally work in R&D in some capacity, and the bulk of those people working in AI software development. We were literally the Fast Company, this is a big American think tank, put Lenovo's #1 ahead of Google's Skunkworks division as the best place to work for AI development in the future. And the really good thing is, normally we talk about this, but it's like, yeah, that's over in China or America. But actually, we're opening up these massive R&D centers for AI in Edinburgh and London as well. So we're putting a lot of investment in it. And that's the reason why it's really important to us, is because I presented this to we've used this slide a lot, but I presented it to some investors last year. And actually, when they're talking about who your main competitors, I'm like, well, we don't really have a straight competitor because no one else on the planet, no one makes what we call box cloud. No one makes phone as well as tablet, as well as laptop, as well as PC, as workstation, edge computing, infrastructure, storage, and everything else. So no one really does that. And actually AI is going to, and already is part of all these components. And that's why it's so important. And we're now getting to the stage of like, right, all these things need to work together in harmony in what we call hybrid AI. Now, hardware, as I've been talking about, is hardware by itself is just hardware. So all of these, we have a layer underneath as software, services, solutions, consultancy, deployment, management. And this is where you can actually bring the performance of this hardware to bear. But underneath that, because we know we can't do everything, of course, we're great at some things, we're frankly rubbish at other things, like the same as any company. So we have a massive range of partners with AI solutions we can bring to bear. We've already done the contracts, we've already done the hard work, and for you guys, we can just bring them to bear at a good price. And of course, Microsoft, there you see, they're our biggest partner, and we do an awful lot of development. We have something really special coming in Microsoft I'm going to talk about in a moment. One of the things to say about my view on AI, and this is really quite interesting. So large language models and these massively capable, huge, humongous, trillion parameter models that have been trained can do all sorts of things. But if there's a kid asking you what's the capital of France and it burns a tree to come up with an answer, that's clearly, this is not the future. So we're seeing this interesting shift, and we're never going to change all the small language models, but we're seeing a shift from large language models that can do everything to very, very precise engineering tool, small language models. And these language models can run on your laptop, on your Copilot Plus PC. They can also run on your phone and your smartwatch, essentially. They're going to be able to run on pretty much anything. And they are very, very efficient, like that second ZX Spectrum game I showed you. They are very efficient and they're very good at what they do. And because they're local, it means you're not paying any license fees. It means that the processing is very, very efficient. And the data stays sacrosanct. The data is local to you. And then the other thing that we're seeing is this shift, which I'll talk about in a moment, our solution to this for ambient AI, where instead of being user-driven, I'm doing this, I need to take the data out, give it to the AI, can you help me process this, come back to it. This will be ambient. It will be doing things in the background and suggesting updates to you before you even realize you needed that update. So this is hybrid AI for us. It's a mixture of the most powerful things in the data center and the sharp tools that you've got locally without any latency, without any connection or license fees required. Okay, I mentioned Copilot Plus PC. There were some, I think Gartner was saying a couple of years ago, by 2027, something like 50, 60%, all these computers are going to have AI processing capability. We actually see it's going to be a bit faster than that, a bit more adoption. And we have some incredible Copilot Plus PC systems coming out this year. On the left here, we have the ThinkPad, of course, our bread and butter from the original ThinkPad in 1992 from IBM. And this year, our focus has been on repairability, sustainability, performance, making new systems as light as possible. Our ThinkBook, which I think via Skunkworks division, a laptop where the screen, you press a button and the screen automatically slowly rises with a motor, is something no one ever asked for, but we made it anyway. Yeah, honestly, this thing is quite amazing. If you'll never be lonely in a Wetherspoons if you get one of these out. But I do advise that you don't get one of these out in a Wetherspoons because they cost about £3.5 grand. The other one below that, it still has a motor as well. It spins around, it follows you around the room. Again, no one asked for that. But they are really, really cool. And actually, the interesting thing is we come up with these things and we use AI to control them, and there's an incredible amount of precision engineering that goes into creating them, and it's training for our R&D teams, and they use it for other products. Frankly, these are the areas that no one, no one leads with desktops these days. You know, everyone said, desktop's dead. You know, it's like buying a kettle, it's boring, desktop. But actually, we've got some really cool products. The one at the top here, this is the equivalent of two 24-inch displays, and you can swivel it around, height adjust, tilt. This is using Intel's Panther Lake. It is a Copilot Plus PC, and it has that MPU, that AI processing capability in a desktop format. But it's like two 24-inch monitors. You can plug your laptop in and have that on one display and your PC on the other, or whatever. You can get it has a built-in KVM. It's really cool. But inside it is a very, 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 very powerful PC. The one at the bottom here, this is the one sorry, James, our workstation team hates, because this is not a workstation, it's a think center. It has the gaming GPUs in it, but again, it's very, very good for development of AI models and for playing games, of course. A quick note on the Copilot Plus ThinkPads. So we've completely overhauled our X1, our T range, so the T14, T14S, T16, X1, 2 and 1, and our detachable X13. So the big thing for us this year was to make them as sustainable as possible, because I know AI is a big headline and that's what everyone is interested in, but sustainability remains the heart of every product decision and product design we make. We made a very public commitment to our roadmap to net zero, and it turns out it's bloody difficult. So we really have to follow through with it. And so these devices have got up to 90% recycled materials. But the important thing is their repairability, I think. You know, the RAM apocalypse that I promised myself I wouldn't mention, but you know, it's the elephant in the room. Prices are skyrocketing, and they're not going to stop skyrocketing. They're just going up and up and up. RAM is going up and up and up. I was mentioning earlier, if I got time to quickly mention it, the overall production of RAM in the world is about 200 to 250 petabytes of DDR a year. If you look at all of the data centers that are in production globally, there is a global requirement for about 1,500 petabytes of RAM. And you know, we'll just open more RAM factories. It takes about 3 years to open a RAM factory. It's such a complex process. So the cost is going to spiral. So the ability to be able to easily fix, repair devices and sweat your assets for as long as possible is very important. So our new systems, the picture here is of our new T14. It got 10 out of 10 from iFixit. You can replace easily the keyboard, the battery, all of the ports are modular. The RAM, you can take the fan off the speakers, you can basically dismantle it. So it's as modular as we can get it. The only thing that's really, really solid down is the CPU. We can't do anything about that, unfortunately. Okay, last couple of bits. Workstation, massively important for us, and this is a real big area of growth for us, workstation, and all of our competitors as well, because of course, people are training AIs, people are creating AI models, and there's no other benefit. It doesn't matter how good your local MPU is on your laptop, it's not going to be anything compared to a workstation. Now, I talked about small language models earlier. So a small language model that perhaps you can run on a PC, on a laptop, would be something like under 10 billion parameters. This PGX box that we have up here, which has just been released, has been designed specifically to work with and develop AIs, and that you can run 200 billion parameters. So it's 20 times performance in terms of AI. And some of these bigger systems here are even more powerful. The other massive area of growth for workstations is media and entertainment and films and so on. But anyway, AI is really important. And then the last thing I'm going to say, this is, the pundits are saying edge computing, we're seeing something akin to 15 to 20% compound annual growth rate. And the reason is, if you don't know what edge computing is, if you have a ton of data, say visual inferencing, you're in a factory, you've got 100 boxes a minute or something, 100 boxes going down the production line, and basically you have to take a picture of each one, and it's taking a picture of each one, and it has to work out if the box is damaged or not, because if it is, it gets rerouted so you can replace the box. You simply don't have, because of the mechanics of physics, you don't have the time to take that massive chunk of visual information, send it to the data center to be processed by an AI and come back. That's latency. It takes too long. So you need to process that data locally. So instead of taking the data to the data center, you're taking a little bit of the data center and bringing it to the edge where the data is generated. It means you make quick business decisions. It doesn't just have to be visual inferencing, it could be anything. But the reason why they look so funky is because they're designed to work in really, really awful conditions. You know, on 24/7, dusty, cold environments, minus 20 to plus 60, stuck in a cupboard, covered in dust and all that. And before I go to, wow, I did not know that there was any audio in this. That's embarrassing. Okay, right. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, maybe I should have checked that slide. My apologies. So, Kira. Okay, I'm going to talk about Kira and then quickly about Microsoft, and then I'm going to ask Microsoft onto the stage, so you don't have to suffer me any longer. Kira is a really, really interesting one. I genuinely think Kira is, or has the capability of being the most important product launch we've done in a decade. This is an ambient AI system, and although on the face of it, it might not be a commercial proposition or more for consumers, it actually has massive commercial capabilities and possibilities. So Kira is ambient AI, always on, listening. It will be whatever you want to call it, your digital assistant. And you know, at the end of the day, right, you're about to shut up shop and make food, and then it says, oh dear, sorry, didn't want to say, but you did say to Dave, the boss, this morning that you're going to send the report by 5, and I can't help noticing you haven't sent it. Or I can't help noticing you've put that restaurant that you booked it last year for the team, and all the team sent you emails saying how awful it was and everyone got food poisoning. You know, this kind of intelligence that's, and actually, I mean, the whole thing is customizable. But the idea that some people would like a PA behind them with a clipboard running around saying, oh, don't forget you've got this meeting, don't forget you should do this, don't forget I can't have no thing, you send this email, but that contradicts what you said. Some people like that, some people don't want that. But the interesting thing about Kira is it's multi-device compatible. So you could be on the phone, you could be on the train, you're using your phone, you're doing a bit of research for work, you get into the office, turn on your laptop, and that research is there, and it's already processed it. If you have a phone, and this is the idea where it's going, if you don't have that processing capability for AI locally, it will transfer it to your tablet or your laptop, and that will process it. And then you pick up your tablet, your phone, your laptop, and that information is there, and it's already processed it, it's ready to go. So it's like an orchestration thing. And the interesting thing is what it does, and you can change this in settings for privacy. It will basically triage information. So you have some data, you want to process it. If it's a company document, if it's confidential, it knows that it can't send that anywhere. It will process it locally. That data is such to you, it won't go anywhere. If it's a very, very complicated research request using lots of multiple online sources, of course, it's going to go into the cloud and it will process it there. But that whole thing is seamless. It's done in a microsecond and it's completely seamless to you. It really, really is quite exciting. It's going to be on slightly more powerful systems when we launch it, but it will ultimately, over the air sort of updates, become available on pretty much the full range. And this, of course, will work with ambient devices such as glasses and pendants. I do think it's quite interesting because glasses obviously have a little bit of a creepy thing attached with them. But then you have to think with pendants and glasses always recording. If you feel they're a bit creepy now, just remember ChatGPT creating a dancing penguin on a plane eating a banana or whatever. We were like, no, how does it create that picture? It's like black magic. And now today it's just part of our, I'm not saying you all do that, but it's just part of our daily process. It's part of what we do on a day-to-day basis. We just subsume it. I've never fails to amaze me the way you just subsume new technology and then it's just part of your working life. And this will happen. This ambient AI will become part of our working life. Okay, so I mentioned interesting. So one of the things, if this, when it processes it locally, this will process it using the Microsoft fine model, and Microsoft have been a massive partner for us with this ambient AI journey. And we're also working very closely with Microsoft for a 3-step solution to help you on your journey for realizing the benefits of Copilot, be that Copilot plus PC or the Microsoft Copilot Office. So we have 3 different levels, and I'm not going to go into details. I'm going to invite my very, very good friend and colleague on from Microsoft, Ross, who's going to talk a bit more about Copilot and explain these in a bit more detail. Thanks a lot, Ross. Cheers.
Cheers. Indeed. So the good thing is I've only got 2 to 3 slides, and one of them's a video, which is very unusual for Microsoft slide deck. So no, I just wanted to quickly talk through the relationship that we have with Lenovo at a global level. Lenovo last year, so calendar 25, shipped in excess of 79 million Windows devices. That solidified them as #1 OEM for us globally, not just from a Windows PC perspective, but also from an AI PC. In addition to that, they were also our #1 OEM from reselling M365. So all that good Copilot stuff that Dan was talking about earlier on, Lenovo were our main partner that shipped that from an OEM perspective. Now, outside of shipping a few devices, we've got a history of co-engineering. A few years back, we launched the ThinkPhone, which would natively boot into a Windows 365 virtualized environment. As you heard from Ash earlier on, Kira is being run on a Microsoft backend utilizing Copilot. And that gives them a really solid foundation to be your partner of choice from a hardware perspective. But as Ash alluded to, I wanted to just talk to you about some of the services that we've developed with Lenovo. These are services that are designed to help you accelerate your adoption of AI technology within your organization today. I'll quickly go through these. I won't read it chapter and verse, but the first step that we will kick off is always going to be an envisioning workshop, where we'll go through the capabilities of what a device, an AI device can do, as well as M365 when they're used together in that hybrid environment. Hopefully, you'll see the value in the AI adoption, and then we'll move to POC, where we'll take a subset of your users, equip them with devices and M365 so they can start to bring to life those use cases. And then lastly, we'll move to an assessment. And this is where we'll look at how agents are integrated into your business in more workflows. Now, these are ready to go now. These are services that are part of the proposition from Lenovo today. We are also working with the team in and around NPU optimization services, where if you deploy a Copilot device, we will come in and work through Lenovo in your business to see what we can offload to small language models. Now, in the short term, these are all subsidized by Microsoft and Lenovo to make sure that we can move this forward at a rate of knots for you and your business. So I'd encourage you to speak to Ash and the rest of the team to see how you can adopt these services within your business. Lastly, I will give you a quick video, it's only a couple of minutes long, so don't worry, which just talks through why Windows 11 is a canvas for AI.
Hey Copilot, find the sales stats my manager sent last week.
So super quick video there. I'm passing on to